G'day, I'm Matt Stone. I've recently developed a menu exclusively for Miele appliances focused on sustainability. So I'm just going to run you through a few little hints and tips throughout the menu. So starting off, we have the curried crab on toast. Crab is a very extravagant ingredient. I don't cook with it a lot and I don't eat it a lot, but when I do, it's very special. It is very delicious. I like to use the Fraser Island Spanner crab. It's all caught in the wild, there's no dredging. It's a really sort of ethical product. And also when you're dealing with the crab, it's great obviously to have the flesh, but all of the shells, if you're getting them whole, when they're roasted and turned into a stock or a broth, they are absolutely delicious. So you can maximize sort of the usage from that in that way, and you're not wasting anything. It's really nice. I think the crab works with the light sort of curry spices really nicely because the crab's quite sweet. The spices play off really well, so that's a lovely little snack, and it's a great way to use the toast component. Any sort of old bread that you have, leftover stuff that's either from the freezer or a bit stale, that's quite nice. Our other little snack, we have the sweet corn croquette. Sweet corn is super delicious just on its own, but in this croquette, it's nice and hot and fried, so it's really sort of textural, which is really nice, and that's with the anise myrtle mayonnaise. So that's a native Australian ingredient that's really beautiful with corn. Sort of corn and fennel leaf, sort of anisey flavors work really well. So that's a winner. Then our entree, we have the olive focaccia. So I think it's making bread is such a joy at home. I think the smell is really yummy in the house, which is great. You can flavor it with some dried tomatoes on the top. Any kind of olives will work. Some rosemary is good. So whatever you like there, that's a good one. And then that's paired with the baked ricotta, tomato and saffron salad. So making ricotta is a really good sort of introductory cheese to make at home. It's quite simple. You end up with all of the whey that once the curds sort of separate, you get the beautiful ricotta cheese, and then the whey, which is awesome to use in place of stock in a risotto, is really good. You can use it for fermenting vegetables. It's good just to have it, keep it in the fridge, and you can just have a little drink of that in the mornings. Is a really good one because it's got all of that great lactic bacteria in there as well. Tomatoes, when they're in peak season, are one of my favorite ingredients. I mostly just like them just warm, from the sun. It is a really nice way to have them. We've got some dried ones in there as well, so we're getting sort of a few different little textures from the tomatoes. And the saffron dressing is beautiful. Saffron, is grown in Australia a lot these days. We get some saffron that we use at the restaurant that's grown here in Victoria, which is really awesome. But there's a lot grown in Tasmania as well. So when you're buying saffron, definitely look for Australian. It's just generally going to be a better product. It hasn't traveled halfway around the world. It's going to be full of flavor. It is expensive, but you only need a very small amount. So yeah, definitely make sure you're looking for Australian saffron there. For the main course, sort of a bit more, this is a very modern Australian style dish, lamb, beautiful. We produce some great lamb here in Australia. And that's paired with eggplant, kohlrabi, and a sort of garlic butter sauce. So it's kind of almost breaching on some northern Chinese flavors there, but done sort of in my way. The eggplant's really beautiful. It's a great way to use the whole thing. The pickled kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is not as common a vegetable as I'd like it to be. It's really yummy. It's really good for you as well. So that's pickled, so that brings a lovely acidity to the dish to cut that sort of richness of the creamy eggplant and the lamb there as well. So that's a really yummy sort of combination. And the burnt butter sauce it's got a lot of garlic in it, but it's really, it's delicious. And the sauce is great just on vegetables itself, or it pairs with any meats really well. It pairs with oily fish like salmon or kingfish or something like that. So that's another good little sauce to have in your repertoire. It's sometimes it's really hard at the restaurant we do a lot of jus and stuff like that, but it's a long process of making stock, reducing it, all that kind of stuff. So this is a good sauce to have in your recipe book, just for a quick and easy one. We've got some side dishes with the lamb as well. We've got the roasted spuds. For me, it's just delicious. Roasted spuds are one of the yummiest things you can have with your dinner. We've got some comfy garlic there as well. So again, it's just kind of adding a few more levels of flavor, which is really nice. And then we've got some steamed broccoli, which we cook in the Miele steam oven, which is one of the best appliances I've ever come across. It's just phenomenal. So steaming it is a fantastic way to make sure you're locking in all of those vitamins and nutrients. It cooks it really consistently, which is great. Really yummy. That's with the preserved lemon dressing. So the salted lemons just kind of bring a lovely sort of seasoning to the dish. Really, really good. And also that dressing is great for any vegetables as well. So you can use that on some different things also. And then the dessert, we have the baked chocolate ganache with chocolate mint and blueberries. It can be paired with any fruits that you like. It'd be great with some roasted quinces or rhubarb. Great with any kind of berries, whatever you kind of like. And I definitely got some help with the dessert from my partner Jo. She's an amazing dessert specialist. So it's a quite an interesting recipe. It's a really kind of moussey chocolate ganache that's really quite light. I'm not the hugest chocolate fan generally, but this really does it for me. It's really yummy. So you get that kind of moussey, fudgy kind of texture, which is beautiful. And then the fruits kind of cut that richness really nicely, and the chocolate mint just brings like a really lovely aroma to the whole dessert. I like to use Hunted and Gathered chocolate. They're here in Victoria. They're a really good small local company that do a really fantastic job. But there's a lot of chocolatiers around Australia now. So if you can get some chocolate that's produced in Australia, that's a fantastic thing to do to support those people doing some really fantastic work. So that's my menu. So you can head to the Miele Experience website, mieleexperience.com.au, to check out all of these recipes. There's some videos up there as well. So get online and have a look. Cheers. Bye.